Richard Jefferson has recently made headlines for predicting that Team USA will not win the 2028 Olympics, and he believes that other countries, mostly France, will have a more cohesive and talent roster by then, potentially surpassing the American team's star power. Jefferson's reasoning centers that the U.S. really relies on those individual players, while other countries have been seeing those more cohesive or better chemistry team plays. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think the U.S. has a chance at all, or do you think that Richard Jefferson is right? Rob?
Well, I'm going to look at it like this. For me,
I'll start this one.
I get his point. I think he's absolutely right to question it and consider it, but I think he's wrong. Will there be great games? Will you need a Herculean, a flurry from somebody to get it done? Yes. Now, he went on to talk about how we're losing KD, we're losing LeBron, we're going to lose Steph. You know, these guys are going to age out. But here's what I just believe. I just believe eventually they continue to find ways to get it done. They continue to find ways to win. And I think at the end of the day, we're too deep. Rob, when you look at the last 10 appearances we've had, I just looked up the last 10 Olympics with the men's basketball team. We won 9 golds. And the only time that didn't happen, we got the bronze. Remember, that was back in 2004 in Athens. And that was that time, I believe, Argentina got us. And we were upset about that. And that's when we just stepped up. You had the Redeem team and all that with Kobe and LeBron and Melo and the guys. And I just think we're too deep. The challenge, this is why I think the other teams are challenged. I will admit they'll have 2 or 3 guys, right? You guys, for your Serbia, you got Jokic, arguably the best player in the world. But the thing that I think separates us is 5 through 10. I don't think everyone else's 5 through 10 are on our level, and that to me is one of the separators. I think they'll always have 2 or 3 guys, that are right there. They're NBA guys, right? They're NBA guys that are just playing for their home countries. But I think ultimately we're too deep and we have too much talent, and it usually prevails. Now, the team, the sneaky one, is Team Canada. Because you got R.J. Barrett, who played some of the best basketball of his career this year. Obviously, you have the reigning MVP and finals MVP in SGA. You got Jamal Murray, an all-star light guy, Andrew Nembhard, and then you got Dylan Brooks, you got Lou Dort, Trey Lyles, you got Kelly Olynyk. So that's the team that kind of like, ooh, they got some real dudes over there. But ultimately, Rob, this is our game. We reign supreme. We'll let it be close. We'll hit a couple of game winners, but USA, USA, USA. We ain't losing hoops, brother.
I get his point as well, and as time goes on, and I understand what he's talking about with the, other countries having a more cohesive unit, and there's a changing of the guard, but there is always a chance when you put in some younger players, people who haven't been on that stage, right, who haven't done it as much. We saw Jayson Tatum, right, not even get to play, right?
But that experience was huge for him.
No, but I'm just saying, like, he didn't even get a chance to play, and now you're going to have it's a changing of the guard. I don't think that this is a crazy take because you are going to miss people who have done it and won medals, you know what I mean, and have had that experience. So I know you want to always believe that it's always just going to continue, but there was a down and dark period for USA basketball, right? Mm-hmm. You remember that? Yeah.
04, that's why I meant 04 when they ended up getting the bronze.
Right. There was it was unbelievable that the U.S. And then you start to look, and we talk about all the time about the MVPs, and I know it's not enough. It doesn't mean that because the Americans can't win an MVP anymore, that's going to translate totally over to, the Olympics. But there's reason until you see the new core, the new group of players together and see them actually go and compete, I think they are at a disadvantage. And I don't think, Kelvin, that they're the overriding favorites even from the United States. I really don't.
Here's another thing I'll add. I think everything.
Look at France. They just talked about
France. You got France.
Well, they just have
Serbia.
like three top picks from France in the last few years, right?
Not to mention Wemby sitting there too. So I mean, obviously he played this past one. You got France. You got Serbia. You've got Canada as teams that are going to be formidable. Here's my thing though. I think the good thing about all this is We know this. I think the good thing about this, we hear this. I think the good thing about this is the young players are sick of hearing about, oh, we don't have American MVPs. Oh, the world is catching up. And I think that's why the system, the program, our international basketball program is taking this so seriously. While they're getting guys to buy in, even in non-Olympic years, they're getting guys to compete every couple of years. They're getting them so that they're building up the program. So that Jayson Tatum may not have played a lot in this past one in 2024 last year. But now he's got those reps, that experience, and understands what it takes. That's why 2008 was huge with the Redeem Team, because Kobe Bryant was there to show LeBron, to show D-Wade, to show Melo. No, y'all think y'all go hard. This is going hard. Oh, you thought you practiced hard. This is practicing hard. And if you watched any of those documentaries, read any of the stories and articles, you know that's what Kobe brought. And I think that's why Jayson Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, Bam, if Bam is Adebayo is to be on the team as well. But my point is, you need those young guys to see it so that 4 years from now, which in 2028 in this case, they'll be locked and loaded, ready. Like, oh, no, young fella, this is how you do it. Ant Edwards, who also played as well. So having Ant there, Tyrese Halliburton, Bam, Jayson Tatum was huge, having those young guys so that they're so locked in for 2028 that you don't have to teach them. They can just teach the young guys. You already got some vets who are ready to do it. Because the world is definitely there. The world is coming, and it's not crazy to think we can lose. I just think ultimately we find a way to eke it out and get it done.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm not as confident and convinced. I'm actually going to side with Richard Jefferson on this, that there's a huge possibility, and it might take, Kelvin, an Olympics to get there. Do you know what I mean? It might take one. And somebody with a more experienced team or that had been together longer, you know what I mean, and maybe a little older, and you know how it is, could actually beat the United States and find them still trying to find their way. So I'm going to side with Richard Jefferson, and I'm going to say that the U.S. of A. Won't be the favorite and quite possibly could lose in the Olympics.
Jalen Brunson, they're going to bring a whole bunch of young, talented Americans. And France is going to lose some of these guys that have been the Batums and a couple other players. Rudy Gobert might be out. They're going to lose some of those guys while we're talking about our guys.
But not the wholesale change that the United States is having.
Well, that's why, again, having our guys there now, the Tatums, the Halliburtons, the Ant Edwards. Like, Ant Edwards in 3 more years is going to be crazy. Tatum's going to be even better. Jaylen Brown will be even, whoever, Jalen Brunson, whoever we end up sending are going to be incredible. But the world is hooping. 92 Olympic team, the Dream Team, is the reason why we're struggling. We sent our pros that year and created the atmosphere now where now we got to compete hard as heck. Because that team inspired the world to play basketball and got everybody excited about hoops. And now the whole world is right there with us. But
just think about where they were, the Dream Team. I couldn't even watch those games. They were
blowing them up by 40.
It was unwatchable. I'm kidding. I watched, like the beginning just to see Jordan and Barkley and all those guys on the court together. But I was like, dude, this ain't basketball. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous.
No, it was.
Have you watched any of those games like on tape or whatever? Did you watch those?
Yeah, I was watching it. I was old enough. I was all in. I was old.
But you know what I'm talking about. They were bad.
Oh, yeah. You were watching it to see how many dunks will Pippen and Jordan get. How many would Larry Bird shoot, 5, 6 threes, which, by the way, was a lot back then. You just wanted to watch the fanfare. How bad would they beat them? Guys were asking for autographs during the game, trying to put their arm around. It was like that scene from Coming to America when they come out of the bathroom. May I have my picture with you? It's like, hold on, we're in the middle of the game right now. Let me ask him for a picture. So, yeah, I just think that 92 team is the reason why we're struggling right now and why it's so hard to beat these teams, because they've been hooping ever since the rest of the world and caught up.